Here we go. Welcome back to Talk Norwich City. We have done it again. The little scrimmage.
Bravo, win or die. Oh, yes.
Never has a 2-1 scrappy win over Wycombe Wanderers felt so good. Super Mario has done it again. Chris, feeling good, feeling great. The birds are singing, and I'm certainly feeling good.
Mate, I was sweating big time throughout that game. I cannot believe we've got away with that. Well, actually, I can, because that's what Mario Vrancic does. We analysed this in the podcast previous, Jack. That is what Mario does. That man has to start games of football from now. I can't. As soon as he got that, you knew that the Bosnian Beckham was going to nail it into the top right. You knew it. The Bosnian Beckham. Honestly, Mario Vrancic is class. What I will say immediately is Wycombe really did run us quite a tight line, and I think that they were probably unlucky on the face of it to come away without a point there.
Never in doubt. Viewers piling into this live stream like Norwich attackers into the Wycombe box. If you are just joining us, I'm sure you've seen the game. Norwich have won the game 2-1. An early goal from Teemu Pukki. It was Cathcart for Wycombe again. Another goalkeeping mistake to get him his second goal of the season. And then at the death, a 90th minute goal from Mario Vrancic, very reminiscent of the free kick he scored against Sheffield Wednesday in that promotion campaign, which if you follow Talk Norwich City on Twitter, I tweeted out just before the game. And now I need to start doing that every single week. Welcome along to everyone in the comment section. Sam saying never a red. Honestly, Sam, I've never cared less about a red card. Paul saying we should be drinking Bosnian beer. I'm not sure what Bosnian. I've got a little San Miguel on the go this evening. Chris has got two types, an Estrella and also a Moretti. Anthony Greenacre saying what a result, Chris. 3 wins on the bounce for Norwich City into the top 6. The Canaries go. A big win.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely huge, mate. Absolutely huge. I know that a lot of people are saying this in the comment section already. Yes, it's massive. Yes, we will get carried away with it because, of course, we're on Talk Norwich City, and that's the fun. We've got to enjoy wins. But we've scraped the last 2 results. And we've scraped today big time. And
do you think we were dominant again?
Yeah, dominant in terms of possession. But if you look at the actual statistics, Jack, having like 1 shot on target for like the whole of the first half against Wycombe is not good enough. It's not good enough. So yes, let's enjoy this. Let's literally drink it in. But remember, we've just scraped the win against Wycombe at home. So Daniel Farker and his backroom team have still got a lot of work to do with those Norwich players within the next few weeks for sure. And those 3, Jack, we highlighted, we should be winning those 3 after the international break. We've achieved that. So my hat's off and congratulations to Daniel Farker and those Norwich boys, because they've done it. And, I am questioning automatics now. I am. But the other angle is actually the teams that go up through the automatics, they win games like that. Those magic moments, those games where you're arguably in gear 2, gear 3, but then you pop a bit of a classy goal at the end or something like that, or a bit of luck goes your way. And we had that today.
Yeah, definitely. Norwich coming through that game. 2-1 victory. If you are just joining us, I know there's a lot of people piling into here. Lee says, Emmy straight through ball plus Pukki diagonal run equals love heart eyes emoji there. Chris, that was a goal very reminiscent of the 2018-19 season, wasn't it? Buendia on the assist. Lovely little chipped finish from Teemu Pukki. And that gave us the early lead.
Yeah, it did. It did, Jack. And at that point, when we scored that early on, I thought, I had a bet on 4-0 today, and I thought, blooming, I've got this wrong. This could be 6 or 7. Like, we were that rampant.
Well, the first 10 minutes, wasn't it?
100%, mate. I've never seen Norwich City that rampant in a long, long time. We absolutely were pounding them over and over. And then when we go and concede such a sloppy goal, I had no idea why Grant Hanley's leaving that to Tim Krul in that.
It was like the Rotherham goal, wasn't it? Hanley just a bit slow to react.
I've said this, mate. Look, I'm not going to go too heavy on Hanley today because I still think he needs game time. But I don't know. But then you look at Ben Gibson, I feel so much more assured in Ben Gibson. So why is Grant Hanley not at the level that Ben Gibson's at already? So I was disappointed with Hanley today. And you know what? I'll put it out there straight away. I know that we're going to get positive and fluffy and over the top about winning, but I was very disappointed with Emi today. I know Emi did that through ball through to Pukki, but going back to that comment, he didn't do it enough. There was too many misplaced passes today. I thought his defensive work wasn't the best. He gave away some fouls. There was some slight petulance that came in again. So, and by the way, I think Wycombe, that was Wycombe's game plan, right? But look, let's just be careful. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. I'm not going to sit here praising Emi Buendia too much today because I don't think he had his best performance.
Yeah, 1 goal in 45 appearances for Emi Buendia. That's simply not good enough. Big thank you to Chef Daniel, who's donated £5 on YouTube via the super chat thing that you can do. We've also got our Ko-fi link in the description. If you're feeling so kind, then you can get some Australians in for Chris. Reece Lockett, all of these late minute goals are papering over the cracks. Lucky to beat 10-man Rotherham and Birmingham, and we played a good side in Bournemouth and see how bad we are. Reece, I disagree entirely. Norwich City have had nearly 70 shots on goal in the last 3 games, okay? And if you continue, I keep saying this, if you continue at that rate of knots, the goals will come. We were basically playing a training game today. I've said in the preview, and I will say again today, Wycombe are one of the worst sides that the Championship has ever seen. 7 games, 0 draws, 0 wins, 7 defeats. They parked the bus for the entirety of that match. They got the goal through a goalkeeping mistake. Their only other goal in the league this season was exactly that. So not much going on at Wycombe, and it's a League One side, and they came through that division thanks to points per game. So they're here on a technicality almost, and they will be going straight back down. Norwich City, on the other hand, have come through 3 tricky games, potential banana skin games that we maybe would have fallen apart in previous seasons, but we've picked up maximum points. We've gone into the playoff section of the table. We're level on points with Bournemouth. We're 1 point behind Watford, who are the early pace setters in this division. That's a fantastic 3 games for Norwich City. Look, I just can't get down on the performances. All of them have been dominant. There was a 20-minute spell today in which Norwich weren't fully at the races. I think we got a bit complacent. But look, Norwich have won 3 in a row, and I just can't be having people saying otherwise. Chris has donated £5. Jack's had a haircut. Blow us a kiss. There you go, Chris. Another kiss for you, mate.
Jack, I have to disagree with you. I'm on the other side of the fence. I know a lot of people.
We've won 3 in a row.
No, but we're talking about performances here. Yeah, it's all very well saying we're dominant this, we're dominant that, possession stats, blah blah blah.
70 shots in 3 games.
I know, but 70 shots, and I bet you that 60 of those have been off target, Jack. Yeah, so I agree. Let's get excited. It's amazing that we've won 3 games in a row. I think it's at the point now where I think paper over the cracks is a bit too harsh, that comment, but I can understand and empathize with why that comment has been sent in, because you're sitting here and it's uncomfortable. We should have absolutely whipped those boys today, and we didn't. So look, as I keep saying, it's a fantastic victory. It's 3 in a row, but I understand why people are still concerned about this Norwich side, because we've still got some serious defensive fragility. I don't think Grant Hanley is the man. And hopefully now, Jack, you understand why I rate Christopherson better than Grant Hanley. And yeah, so for me, I think we just need to be a little bit careful. And also, let's not forget, right? And by the way, this is weird. I'm sounding negative. I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
But we've played Rotherham and Wycombe and Birmingham, right? These aren't the best sides in the league, and we've scraped past them. So, although I'm positive and jubilant and buzzing for the win today, we need to just be a little bit careful, because when we come up against better sides that can actually really seriously zip the ball about and play football, I think we'll come unstuck, Jack.
I don't like how the roles are reversed here, Chris. Usually you're the one getting carried away and I'm the one slagging off Lucas Root. But there we go. Phoebe Langdale says, hey, lads, sorry to be negative. Sorry to be a negative Nelly here. Sorry, but I thought we weren't the best. Got the win, however. Defensive mistakes again. I think it'll be a long process. Mario has to start on Tuesday. Look, I've said my bit. I don't think we were as bad as some are making out today. We had a lot of shots on goal. Their goalkeeper made a few really good saves. And it was a defensive mistake that cost us. It cost us. It was a bit of brilliance that won the game in Derby. You know, a defensive mistake against Rotherham. So the 2 goals in which we've conceded in the last 3 games have been from our own errors. It hasn't been from the team cutting us apart. And of course, a goal is a goal and defensive mistakes need to be cut out. But we've hardly given up a chance in the last 2 games. Rotherham was slightly different. Look, I just can't get I can't get too upset about it. We've gone from 13th in the division to 4th in the division over 3 games. Yeah. It's a very quick moving division, is the Championship. Yeah. Chris, the goal came from Wycombe, a goal from Kashket. Half time comes 1-1. You're still very much in the favourites for the game. When it gets to 75 minutes in the game, are you starting to think, oh my goodness, we're going to draw this game, or even worse, lose?
100%. I thought Wycombe were going to do a job on us today. I really did believe that. A lot of shouts on social media, particularly on Twitter, that about the referee's performance this, the referee's performance that, and I understand that, right? But we should have done better today. And 100%. I thought Wycombe were going to do a job on us until Daniel Farke brings on Mario Vrancic. And by the way, do you know what I like about that Mario Vrancic free kick? Not actually just the fact he scored the free kick, the fact that he won it. That man has warranted. He cannot. I have no. Daniel Farke will have to have had at least 15 of these together to not start Mario Vrancic in the next game, right? And for me, I'm even possibly dropping Emi Buendia. Controversial. I'm dropping Emi and I'm bringing in Mario Vrancic because I think the guy deserves a shot.
Well, it's a brilliant link, Chris. It's almost as if you've done this before. Anderson on Kofi says, what do you Burrs reckon to Mario starting in the number 10? Look, I've said it before. I don't think Hugill and Pukki work together in that centre forward and central attacking midfielder kind of combination. Pukki got the goal today. I thought Hugill, I didn't hardly see him touch the ball. For me, next game, it's Pukki up front, it's Mario or Stiepermann in the 10, and you keep Cantwell and Buendia. Chris, you obviously want Mario in the team. Would you keep Pukki and Hugill operating in the manner, in which they have?
Look, I don't think Jordan Hugill had his best game today. But again, my defense of that, and I haven't reviewed the stats yet, but from my observations, he didn't get a lot of the ball. He didn't receive a lot of the ball. There were a couple of wayward touches. He will know that. And again, he's still adapting and bringing himself up to it. Look, I think Pukki scoring today means that he starts the next game. And by the way, it's completely fair enough. Do you know what I'm actually really disappointed in, Jack? I'm actually really disappointed in that red card decision, right? Because I think Adam came on and again changed the game, changed the complexion of the game. He brings on power, pace. He gets a shot away. He injected so much positivity into that Norwich team. And so actually for me, I've kind of the tide has changed with me actually. And I'm definitely in the Adam Eder camp. And I think he'll be a big loss to us over the next 3 games. Well, he will be because now we've only got two attacking.
Was it a red card? I mean, I've seen it a couple of times, and I thought it was a soft one.
I do, Jack. I think there's quite a few things to take into account there. You can't go in near a player's face like that. You just can't do it, right? But the other thing as well is you've got the Wycombe boys in the background that have been literally giving it this to the ref the whole game long, and that will play a part. And I know it's shithousery, but that's the Championship for you. So I'm not surprised that it happened. I don't think it was necessarily silly of Adam Eder to do that. I don't necessarily think that Adam did the wrong thing, because actually, if someone had locked my leg into the ground, I would push them off to get off me because I want to get the ball and I want to go on an attack to try and help the boys win. So I'm not blaming Adam, but I think that he'll be of course gutted but look, we've got 2 fantastic options. Options. Pukki, Hugill, I mean, that's looking great. And then personally, for me, I agree, Jack. I think we have Mario Vrancic in that number 10 role. We've got to start him. He's got to start playing football now.
Yeah, the thing that struck me with Adam Eder today when he came on the pitch, and it has done the last few times he's came off the bench, is he's constantly trying to get a shot in. It almost seems as if he's trying to prove something. You know, when you're young and you're trying to get a position on that pitch in the starting 11, he was just taking pop shots from sort of 40 yards that just weren't really doing much. And I think he just needs to calm down and realise that he's very much in Daniel Farke's plans, and the time will come. 2 super chats coming in from FinDaz24. Hi, Jack and Chris. Do you think that questions need to be asked about the defence? Thanks for being so awesome. We'll get onto that shortly. And also Chris Dayton. Again, I've blown him a kiss and he's coming back in with another £5. Feel like Mario has earned the start, but the big question that needs to be answered, is he a better starter or super sub? Well, it's a good point, Chris. Maybe he is more effective off the bench. There are players like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's a very, very valid point, Jack. I really do. I think Chris is right. I think it's a very good debate. Let us know in the comments whether you think Mario is more effective as a super sub or whether he should be playing games of football. Because it's not actually just the fact that he can take a free kick. I really liked what Mario Vrancic brought to the game today in terms of his twists, his turns. He creates space. He's quite direct. He's not afraid to take a player on. So for me, I think that means that Mario Vrancic should warrant a start. That's my honest opinion. But let me know in the comments whether you disagree with that.
Phoebe, thank you so much. £9.99 super chat. Really do appreciate it, Phoebe. Good friend of the channel. And Ryan Thompson. Norwich have won all their games this season in the final 10 minutes. Got to be more clinical earlier on. That's a great point. Huddersfield, 87th minute goal. Birmingham, 88th minute goal. Rotherham, when was that? 88 minutes, and today 90 minutes. It's amazing, isn't it, Chris? The late goals keep on coming, and that isn't a sustainable way of winning football matches. But I guess your argument with that is, well, it's not sustainable, so we won't continue to win football matches. Mine is, well, we're having so many shots on goal. We're putting in such dominant performances that the goals will start to come. Yeah. Is that a concern for you or not?
Look, I think Colin Rogers absolutely nails it with his YouTube comment, Jack, where he says the next 4 matches will show us what we're made of, and I agree with that. I think that at the moment, I like that last comment. The last part of that was a win is a win, and I know that's cliche, I know that's basic, but that's all that really matters. And actually, this is what Norwich need for confidence, Jack. Because don't forget, I will never, ever forget that Premier League restart. And I still think we're getting our confidence back. I really do believe that. So wins are probably more important than the dominating displays at the moment, right? But I think, as Colin's highlighted there, I think in the next 4 games, we'll see what Norwich are really made of. Because we've come up against a really woeful Wycombe side. Fair play, spirited performance, but they are a woeful side in the Championship, and we've scraped past it. So let's see what we can do in the next few games before we start shouting from the heavens about this Norwich City side.
Yeah, definitely. Ryan Fox saying, win is a win. We won't care come the end of the season. 9 points from 9. Enjoy these times while they're here. Ryan, that's what I'm all about. That's what Chris is all about. You've got to enjoy the wins when they're here. We went so long, didn't we, without a win? It was 10 straight defeats in the Premier League. And it didn't feel like the next win was ever going to come. And now we've had 3 in just over a week. And look, I can't get enough of it. Our good friend Cheesy Geezer is in the comments. The big worry for me, we let in a sloppy goal and the whole team lost the plot. Confident went with the passing. Chris, you're nodding ferociously at that. Let me know your thoughts.
Oh, 100%, Jack. I think Cheesy Geezer, of course, the finest cheese salesman in the whole of Norfolk, at the cheese truckle. I think he is bang on the money. I think that that's a worry. We concede, and it's not necessarily just the defence that looks a bit fragile. It seems that today the whole team dropped in tempo massively, and all of them the midfield were making mistakes. Not just Todd, Emmy, Lucas, Rook was making mistakes. The whole midfield were, just making silly, sloppy passes all the time. And I think Cheesy's absolutely bang on the money there. I really do. I think it's something that we seriously need to work on, because if you do that against an even better side than Wycombe, of which there are plenty, we will get found out, and they will absolutely smash us to pieces if we just sit back. And I think actually today, Jack, as well, I felt a bit of complacency creep in, genuinely.
Because
we saw that early on. When was the last time? Let me know in the comments. When was the last time Norwich City scored in the 3rd minute of a football match? Right, we've not had that in such a long time, I think. So therefore, I think that the Norwich players today would have been like, this is happy days. We're on the beach now, boys, against Wycombe. 6-0, here we come. And I do just think we really sat back and we allowed Wycombe to play football. We allowed Wycombe to be aggressive. We allowed Wycombe to dominate play. We allowed Wycombe to play the basic passes and do all of the shithousery stuff that we could have just passed around them today, Jack, right? But I think Daniel Farke will be chuffed to pieces today because I think his side have got away with it. That's my honest opinion. That is my honest opinion.
Fair enough. Lewis with a Harry Potter themed comment here. Farke seems to be channeling his inner Severus Snape in the last 10 minutes of this game. He was chanting incantations and he seemed to be waving his hands in a mystic fashion. Chris, we've always you especially have always criticised Daniel Farke's substitutions being too late on in the game. But his substitution against Birmingham scored the winning goal, and his substitution today scored the winning goal. You know, all the talk in the comment section I'm seeing is we have to start Mario Vrancic. We have to start Mario Vrancic. Is it a case of some players just being, there at the right moments? Could, if Mario Vrancic is played from the very beginning, is there a chance that he might kind of just fade out?
Absolutely, there's a chance of it, but we'll never know until we try it. And one of the things that I have to say is I was not confident in Daniel Farke with the start that we had to this season. But one of the things Jack, that I have continuously criticised Daniel Farke of is his late substitutions and substitutions that aren't proactive. They're always reactive. Now, today, he's done it again. He's brought on Adam really early. I think it might be in the 50-something minute, quite in the late 50s, maybe 57th. Could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. and Mario again. Just, I think he's bang on the money. I think Daniel Farke has done incredibly well today with his substitutions. I don't think today the players probably hung Daniel Farke out to dry a little bit today. To be fair, they were really poor in that first half after we conceded.
Well, the opening 10 minutes though surely gives you some kind of hope and optimism going forwards. I mean, we've just won 3 on a bounce, and I'm surprised with some of the comments saying I wasn't too chuffed with the performance. The performance wasn't perfect, but in this division, it's simply about winning football matches, isn't it? That opening 10 minutes was dominant. And you said, I think it's going to be like 6-0 come the end if we continue in that vein of form. It proves that it is there. I guess it's just a matter of, stitching it all together now.
Yeah, I think, matey, you've had a couple of beers and you're feeling lovely and fluffed up about the win, but if we had drawn that game today, you would have been lamenting.
Yeah, but we haven't.
I know. But just see that there is some work to be done. It's still early days. Yes, 3 wins in a row, but this is momentum, right? We have to keep this going. You have to win more football matches, mate. There's a long way to go.
Yeah, keep talking. I'm going to pull the stats up from today's game and just see.
I can't pull up. Unfortunately, I can't pull up any comments.
Tell me which one you want.
Well, one thing I will say, because it's been mentioned in the comments, is Ipswich lost today, which is lovely.
Did they?
Yeah, I think the almighty quality side of Lincoln.
Yeah, so they did. Well, Ipswich are falling apart, aren't they? Oh, dearie me. Deary me. Okay, let's have a look at the Norwich City stats. Where is it? There it is.
Jack. Yeah,
okay. I'm just screenshotting it now.
Again, maybe I'm being too negative again. So again, disagree with me if you think I'm wrong. I don't think Ollie Skip was particularly accurate today.
I'd agree with you there.
Would you? Yeah. For me, maybe it's because his performance levels in the other games have been so high. But today, I just felt like, again, making mistakes, not as energetic as he has been.
I guess the thing is, this is a young lad who hasn't played too much competitive football, and he's been thrown in the Championship. He's played every single game so far. Maybe it is just a time to switch things up. We play again on Tuesday night. Yeah. Maybe it's time to, I don't know, could Vrancic come in in the middle of the park. Here is the stats from today's game. 76% possession, 25 shots, 6 on target, 10 corners, and 14 fouls. 25 shots. We had 23 in the last game. So that's that's nearly 70 shots in the last 3 games. Is that the worry for you, Chris? Is that we're having, again, over 20 shots in a game is ridiculous, and we've only scored 2 goals today?
I think it's an area of latent potential. I think that we need to be careful in our language and our critique of the lads, because yes, I think that it's amazing that we're getting these shots on, but let's not accept mediocrity, right? We're back in the Championship. We're still getting our confidence back after being relegated from the Premier League. So it's a real positive that we're pinging shots in, right? But we've got to do better. There was probably at least 2 or 3 today where I felt that we should have at least hit the target, and we didn't. And by the way, again, my call to arms with regards to Mario Vrancic is he comes on and he gets shots on target. And I think a couple of the other lads didn't manage that today. I think, again, I still think after, obviously, Todd was left out for a few games, I still think Todd's got a couple of notches to go up in terms of his shooting boots. Let's not forget as well, you said that stat at the start, Emi Buendia has to score more goals. He has to score more goals, Jack. He's an exceptional player and actually a complete magician with the ball. But I just have absolutely no idea how he's not scored more and how he doesn't score more, because in the Championship, and he got chances today, by the way, I think there was at least 1 I remember, possibly 2. Emi's got to do better. He's got to.
There was that chance, wasn't it, where I think he got it cut back from Poeta or Ida, cut from the left. Yeah. And it's going across him. It's not the easiest chance, but he should at least get it on target. Okay, let's go from attack. Let's go to defence. Alan Montgomery says, thought Hanley played better than Gibson. Gibson had a shaky first half, could have given away a penalty. Yeah, I agree. I think that could have been a penalty. Thought Hanley won every header against the physical Wycombe. I guess the question there, Chris, is the defence as a whole. Quintilla, I'm still not convinced on. I think defensively he's got better, but he just seems so wasteful in them crossing positions. I don't think a single cross made a Norwich attacker today. The centre backs I thought were brilliant against Birmingham. Not so great today. I agree with Alan there. There were chances for Wycombe, and certainly that penalty that certainly could have got given when Gibson was holding on to one of the Wycombe attackers, and then Max Aarons is in a class above. So, is there work to be done defensively?
Oh God, yeah, of course, Jack. Everyone knows that, and it still is completely. I have absolutely no idea. I'm completely flabbergasted by the lack of transfer business in terms of bringing in defensive support, particularly with the loss of Tim Closer. That seems to me there's something not right there. I think today, I think Xavi Quintilla has got off to a really good start this season. We did not expect him to hit the ground running like he has. Yes, he started to tail off in the last 2 games in terms of his productivity with the ball, but he still is getting crosses in. There was a couple of occasions today where, yes, all right, Jack, you're right, he was wasteful, but there were 2 occasions today where he got that early ball in and he won a corner kick, right? And everyone was probably thinking, oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a blooming corner, Chris. It doesn't matter. But yeah, no. Actually, it does matter. It really matters. I actually think Max and Xavi today didn't have a good game. I don't think they had a good game. But I think this debate on Hanley and Gibson, and I don't know, I think we're probably making something out of nothing here, Jack. I think today, Ben, Gibson and Hanley both didn't have their best game, but the facts are it was arguably Hanley's mistake for the Wycombe goal, right? So I think, let's not play the blame game. I think today, collectively as a defence, we weren't good enough. There wasn't particularly one player that I would single out and say absolutely woeful, but I would actually say the whole of the defence today were probably 5 or 6 out of 10. That's my honest opinion.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Wycombe this season, and I think, how many shots they had? They had 8 shots today, which for them is a valiant effort. And they did create some chances, actually. That can only go down to Norwich City's poor defensive work. Craig Killett, good friend of the channel, and of course, good friend of Chris Reeves, saying Javi is the left-back version of Ivo Pinto. Well, I don't think he quite brings the pitch raw yellow army like Evo did, but I can see where you're coming from, Craig, definitely. This is a good point, and I think this might resonate more with Chris than me. Do we start Poeta and drop Buendia? Wow, I didn't think we'd be seeing calls for Buendia to be dropped, but Chris, you've said it once already. Do you agree with Sean there? Lovely dog, by the way.
Yeah, cracking dog. I love a good profile picture.
Yeah.
I think wherever Barry is, Barry with his fish, Sean with his dog. We love the dodgy profile picture. No, look, I don't know. I think there's something inside of me that says, I think Emmy was unproductive today. Yes, he's magical. Yes, he's extremely talented. But let's role reversal this, right, Jack? Let's flip this around now. So everyone's saying Mario Vrancic is better off the bench. Well, okay. I think Emi Buendia would be incredible off the bench, by the way. In actual fact, I think he would probably be better than Mario Vrancic off the bench, because what he brings to the team is the ball sticks to his feet with Emi, right? And in a second half, when a team is very tired, he will have a similar impact. So I don't think it would be the end of the world to drop Emi for a game, to give him a little bit of a rest, to give Mario Vrancic a completely deserved start. And let's see how we do it. I think, look, I think PP still needs time. I think he's still getting up to speed with the league. I think he's still getting used to playing Daniel Farke's type of football. I think every time he comes on, I'm happy that he comes on. I'm confident in him. I think that he brings pace, and pace kills, particularly in the Championship, right? But I don't necessarily think PP is the answer. But what is the thing that we're struggling to do at the moment? Score goals. And who is the man scoring the goals? Mario Vrancic. He has got to start.
Yeah, I think the thing that we need to think about here as well is Rotherham, Birmingham and Wycombe were all quite similar games. They were games that we were expected to win. Certainly the latter two of them three were games where the opposition just sat back for the entirety and were willing to hit us on set pieces and counter-attack. The two games we've got coming up now in Brentford and Bristol City, they will be games that we aren't maybe as, we still expected to win them, but the expectation isn't on us so much. I think there'll be a lot more attacking from Brentford and Bristol City. So it might just need something different. I think them kind of games warrant and need some pace in there. So I think I'd be maybe looking to bring Poeta in, but I wouldn't drop Buendia myself, because I think he brings such magic, and you always know what you're getting with Emmy. A big thanks to Ryan Thompson, another super chat. They're absolutely flying in this evening. Do you think with game time, Hanley and Gibson could be one of the most solid centre-back pairings we've had in a long while? Well, we've just been, discussing that. I really like Ben Gibson. I mean, we've only seen him in 4 or 5 games, but the early impressions are good. And of course, we've only got him on an initial loan deal, and it will take a significant amount of money to keep hold of him, an amount of money that will probably only come for Ben Gibson.
Well, no, because if we get promoted, it's done, mate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it would take us to get promoted to sign, I think.
Right, okay.
But yeah, I think the early signs of them two have been good. I think they've both come in off the back of very limited game time, which is tough. But they've settled fairly well. Hanley has, he's made 2 mistakes now, the game against Rotherham and the game here today, and they've cost us 2 goals. Thankfully, they haven't cost us any points, but early signs are good. And another super chat from Chris. He says, disagree, Chris. I don't know if he's disagreeing with himself or you, but when Buendia would take too long to get into the game, he needs time to really find his feet. He was missing the first 20. He needs time. Look, Chris, I think I agree with you. I get both Chris's points here. I don't think Buendia was his most productive today, but I think when you've got Buendia on the pitch, you always know there's something just around the corner. But I'm going to contradict myself again and say I think we do maybe need Poeta's pace in that next game against Brentford. And Brentford lost, I think, 3-0 today. So that game is certainly up for grabs.
They got smashed, didn't they? But then I don't know if that's a good thing, Jack, because they'll want to really bounce back against us. So we shall see.
No, 100%. Thomas says, since Ida got a red, I think we need to rest Hugill so he doesn't get injured and we still have one striker available. Going forwards, Chris, I mean, we've talked about it at length, haven't we? But I think, today is another good chance to talk about it. Would you continue with Pukki and Hugo going forwards?
To be honest with you, I wouldn't actually. I said in the last live stream that I think we should stick at it against Wycombe, a side that we should have been able to break down a lot more. I still think that if we don't make that defensive mistake, we go and beat those 5-6, maybe even 7-0 today, genuinely. So therefore, you would definitely say that Hugill Pukki would have worked. But what Daniel Farke had to do today is, of course, pull Jordan Hugill in order to obviously bring on more midfield to try and bring the team higher up the pitch. And I completely understand that. Completely understand it. I would now change it. I wouldn't stick with Jordan Hugill and Pukki up front. I think that at the moment, I think that particularly with Adam Eder being out, I think that we need to have a striking option to come off the bench. I think that's important. So therefore, I would start with Teemu Pukki and I'd bring on Jordan Hugill. To be honest with you, I would. Depending on who we play, of course, I think Jordan Hugill is much more of a physical presence than Teemu Pukki. But Teemu Pukki, he is just able to link with that midfield so well. And by the way, he's delivering, right? He scored again today. So I think it'd be really harsh to drop Teemu Pukki. But yeah, I personally think maybe we could possibly put Jordan Hugill with Pukki to bed, particularly with just how good Mario Vrancic has been in the last 2 games, right? I just think you have to change your team to who is playing exceptionally well, of course. So yeah, that's personally what I would do.
No, good point. Visual excellence makes a good point. I assume talking about Buendia missing ? He got an assist. I guess that reiterates the point. Even when he's not completely at his game, there's still something good to get out of Buendia. A lot of people correcting me. Brentford lost 3-2. It wasn't 3-0. Well, they still lost.
Yeah, still needed 3 goals. So yeah.
Indeed. Okay, what do we? There's a lot of questions now coming about the next 2 games.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying, how many points are we expecting from it? I mean, from my point of view, it's all about continuing momentum. Brentford and Bristol City both have started the season relatively well. Brentford, you would certainly have up there in your pre-season predictions. Are we just wanting to keep this momentum going, or are we, dampening our expectations slightly?
Just remind me the next 2. So I know there's Brentford. What's the other one, Jack?
Bristol City.
So I think it's an absolute minimum of 3 points. You've got to get 3 points from Bristol City. You have to. But I think it's also like you've said this before, Jack, to me, and actually I agree with your point. I really do. I think we need to stop downplaying the expectation. It absolutely should be there. We should be beating Brentford. I know that we've not had the easiest time against them in the past few seasons that we've come up against them. But look, I absolutely think we should be beating them. And therefore, I would say, yeah, absolutely, hunt the wins. We need to be getting another 6 points on the board, take us to the top of the league, hopefully, and put us in a really solid position, make a statement to the league that we're here to absolutely boss it. And I think if you're up there early, it makes a massive difference in terms of how teams go to set up against you, and also for the team morale, like a huge amount. And if you're winning games playing poorly, in my opinion, like today was a poor performance. I genuinely think that. I know you've said that we dominated, but very sloppy and a defensive error and loads of shots off target, for me, is an under par performance. So if you continue to win games like that, that can only be a positive thing. So for me, it's 6 points.
Okay, fair enough. Let's quickly pull the table up. Reading lead the way on 19 points. Hello. Bristol City, who we take on Saturday, 14 points. We're on 13 points down in 5th. South Wales get a mention in 6th with Swansea, and then it's Bournemouth and Watford. So it's the 3 relegated sides in 3rd, 4th and 5th. Brentford currently down in 11th place. They've won 2 of their last 4 and have lost 2 in that time frame. So Bristol City would argue are the tougher of the 2. I think I'd take 4 games. I think I'd take a draw on Tuesday night against Brentford. I think that would be a good result. We know all about Brentford. We know that they're free-flowing in their style.
Jack, but Richard raises a great point on Facebook. He says Brentford have lost their better players. So how can you go into that going, oh, I'll be happy with a draw? I think that is a poor mentality to have.
Yeah, well, maybe, okay, 6 points from the next 2.
Good.
Yeah, I think I'm really chuffed with the way that we've improved over the last fortnight. Going into that international break, the mood was low. There was genuine thoughts of Daniel Farke possibly staring his P45 down the barrel. And we've won 3 in a row, and it shows that small runs can really do you the world of good. We were down in 17th 2 weeks ago. We're now a point off the automatics with 7 games in. Some teams that you would have thought might be up there early on are struggling. So it's a really competitive division this season, as it always is. Lots of people reminding me that Sergi Canos is at Brentford. Of course he is, doing bits. Depends what you define as bits. But he's there. Nonetheless, Brentford have lost their better players. But they've got Ivan Toney up front, who was bagging goals for Peterborough last season. I think he scored 6 already this season. So there is still goals in that squad. And look, any team, I think, other than Wycombe, you should fear in this division this season. Okay. What's our overriding thoughts of today's performance now that the dust has settled slightly?
Job done is my 2-word answer to that. It felt like a job done today, Jack. I think that, as I've said before, I think Mario Vrancic gets the team massively out of trouble. And actually, of course, he's done that on 2 occasions in a row now. So I do think we have to, I think that there is completely justified criticism of the team at the moment, although we're winning games of football, right? But I think Daniel Farke will know that. Of course he will. Of course his backroom team will know that. Of course the players will know that. So this is a really good thing. It's a really good thing that we're winning games of football playing in Gear 2, Gear 3, right? It's a really good thing. So that's my opinion on today, Jack. I think it was a job done. It wasn't pretty at all. It was a horrendous game to watch. But, it was funny, actually, because I hope she's not watching. If not, I'm so in the doghouse. So,
her brother and her father is. So,
well, basically, first 3 minutes, of course, we score. She then falls asleep. Yeah.
Are we talking she as in Becky, your fiance here?
Sorry, yeah, Becky, my fiance, falls asleep for the whole game. Okay, until Mario Vrancic scores, and I wake her up with my celebration, which is why in my Twitter video I'm like, yeah, because I'm trying to hold it in. Anyway. But actually, she actually said a really good point, which was, oh well, actually, so I only actually needed to be awake for the beginning and the end of the game at the moment. I think actually a really, really good point for Daniel Farke is we've got to be more dominant throughout the game. Like, we can't just start games well and gamble on the fact. And it's a calculated gamble. And we've even heard the players say in a press conference, I think Todd said it. Todd said, we run teams into the ground. We will play, we'll keep the ball, we'll pass them to death, and they'll tire out. I'll tell you now, there will be at least 10 teams in this league that won't get tired out because they're a championship football team and they get worked hard. So I think at the moment we're gambling. We're gambling on a Mario Vrancic. We're gambling on a bit of magic in the last minute. So at the moment, we need to think about our game plan throughout the 90 minutes and not just sit back on this almost complacency of, and it is complacent. What everyone's saying is complacent. Oh, it's fine. We've got loads of possession. We'll pass them to death. I think that is a risky game plan to play, and a lot of teams will suss that out this season.
No, fair point. And as all good teams do, you have to adapt and you have to continue to change to win games. I think we've just got to be thankful that we've led, for not long today. We haven't led football matches for much of this season, probably under half an hour. And we've got 4 wins on the board, which is miraculous, really. And the late goals are coming good. But yeah, I agree. I think we need to be more clinical when we get the chances. And I think we're going in and out of games a lot. I think we're having really good kind of 3 10-minute spells per game where we look like we're just going to score an unlimited amount of goals, and that is where we're scoring our goals. But then the other 60, we're just a bit slow, and maybe that's part of what Farke was going for.
But are we overanalyzing this, Jack? Are we trying to be nitpicky just because we're trying to review a game? At the end of the day, we got the 3 points. At the end of the day, we've won 3 games in a row. At the end of the day, if we win the next 2, we're probably going to be in the top 2, maybe even top of the league, right? So I think that there is, of course, an angle of criticising the team, blah, 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 but we've got to look at the positives. Winning 3 games in a row in the Championship is great. It's really, really good. So let's not be too harsh on the team at the moment. I think that we have done well. We have done well because actually you could argue Wycombe does. This might be controversial. Wycombe deserved a point today. Wycombe deserved a point today. They defended well.
Yeah, they did. They threw their bodies on
Yeah.
the line, didn't they?
Bodies on the line, last-ditch tackles, team spirit was there. Barely any possession, but almost always looked dangerous when going forwards. Again, Rotherham, very unlucky not to get anything. I think Birmingham, you could argue that we absolutely deserved to win that one. So, look, I think that the other side of the coin here, Jack, is we might be overanalyzing this. A win is a win. Let's enjoy it. Let's drink our beer tonight, and let's have a beer, have a few.
Yeah, no, definitely. As a lot of people have said, these wins don't come around too often, so let's make the most of it. Kate Brazier saying, boom, Vrancic. Yeah, loads of people loving Mario Vrancic and probably writing himself very quickly into being a bit of a Norwich City hero, really. Neil Luther, perfect week. 3 games, 3 wins. We can't ask for much more than that. Okay, it's Brentford up on Tuesday. Do we want to see changes with the team?
Yeah, I think so, Jack. Well, I think we have to adapt. I think we have to adapt because of course, Adam Ida's red card. I do actually think that changes how Daniel Farke approaches the game, because I do think that Daniel Farke's main card to play in a game to change it is Adam Ida at the moment. So I do think that changes the complexion of the game. I think that we start Timu Pukki. I think Jordan Hugill is then the man that we bring on. Hopefully he gets brought on a lot earlier. I hope Daniel Farke has finally learned his lesson that he needs to make substitutions earlier. I think that, I think that Mario Vrancic would be just as effective as Emi Buendia against Brentford in his current form. I absolutely believe that. So that would be my main changes. I don't think I'd start PP just yet. I think he still needs just a little bit more time, to be honest with you. So yeah, my main changes would be I'd be starting up top with Timu, and I'd be starting Mario Vrancic over Emi Buendia.
Okay, great stuff. Well, we will be doing a watch along for Tuesday night's game against Brentford, which I'm really excited for. I would have loved to have done today, but I didn't finish work until 4:30. So sadly we couldn't, but we will be back for Brentford on Tuesday. Whatever you're up to tonight, enjoy yourselves. Norwich City are up to 5th in the Championship table, 1 point off the automatics. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined us this evening. Norwich City have won 3 games in 3 matches, and everything is going really, really good. Chris, any last words?
We're going to win the league.
Wow. That's getting clipped up. Thanks to everyone who's watched. Have a lovely evening, and we'll see you again on Tuesday night. Goodbye.